Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Before I start the readings, I want to let you know that I do have some new online courses available on how to read oracle cards and crystals and spirituality, so click on the link below to check them out. Hi Gemini, it's Sloan Rhodes here with your love and romance reading for the months of May, June, and July 2018. Gemini, thank you so much for your patience. I know many of you have been asking if I'm going to be doing the readings, and so I am doing them now. I will also be doing the life, purpose, and career readings. And just to remind you, Gemini, I'm going to be doing the same format that I did in 2017. So I'm going to be doing the 3-month time period for the love and romance readings, in this case May, June, and July. And then in the month of June, I'll do a shorter reading, and in July, another shorter reading, just kind of a little bonus reading for you. And then another 3-month time period for August, September, and October, and then for November and December. So just so you remember what the format is. And what else did I want to say? I think let's just go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, I'm going to be getting one card as the overarching theme for this time frame. I'm going to be drawing from the astrology reading cards, and then I'm going to get 3 cards from the Witch's Tarot. And then once I kind of do this read, I'm going to go into the physical and sexual intimacy read. Let's just go ahead and get started. So, for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the months of May, June, and July 2018. Love and romance. All right, let's see. Leo, beautiful. The energy is flamboyant, dramatic, proud, and passionate. It focuses on the importance of self-belief. What a beautiful card for you, Gemini. So it could be for some of you that there is a prominent Leo person involved in your life. We also have under the deck the 8th house, the house of shared resources, intense emotions, transformational area. And for some of you, this may indeed be relating to marriage. It is under the deck. So it's at play here in some way. Either you're thinking about marriage, or you're, and if it's not marriage, it's partnerships, people with whom you have shared resources. I'm just saying in particular marriage because it's a love reading and it shows the wedding rings there. It's under the deck, so it maybe have been at play as we enter into this time frame. But let's talk about Leo because this is the prominent energy. So the Leo energy, again, it may be that there is a Leo individual who is prominent during this time frame. It could be, for some of you, if you have a Leo moon or Leo rising, that this is also something that is coming to the forefront. Now, this Leo energy, if it's not an individual during this time frame, it is about being seen, being in the spotlight, stepping forth, being that leader, allowing yourself to express the essence of you in love in a way that's very outward bound, right? Outward feeling. This is not looking like it's a time period where you would be in a sort of more hermit-like energy. You are stepping forward. Again, it could be that for some of you that there is actually a Leo individual involved. But let's get some additional cards. This energy is flamboyant, dramatic, proud, and passionate. Let your passions roar during this time frame, Gemini. Not from a place of arrogance, but because you have been given that gift. Let it shine during this time period. Now remember, being proud is different than being prideful. So you don't want to be arrogant or egotistical with that Leo energy. You can be proud to showcase what you have to offer in love. Put your best foot forward. Preen a little bit. Allow yourself to, if you like to wear colorful things or jewelry, or, it's okay to show it off. It's a gift. Your physicality and the strength of your personality are gifts. And during this time frame, it's okay to showcase them. It's always okay to showcase them, but during this time frame, it may be that you are even more in the spotlight with it. And again, for some of you, it may be that there is a Leo with whom you fall in love or are in love with. The energy is flamboyant, dramatic, proud, and passionate. It focuses on the importance of self-belief, especially in love, because when things are competitive or other people get jealous, people can try to knock you off your throne. You know, here we have the king of the jungle. And when you are out front like that, you're often a target. So this is often where you have to believe in yourself. And sometimes when you're a leader, you are leading because you recognize what can be accomplished. You see sometimes things that other people can't see. And so people may not often understand where you're going, but you know what the path is and you know how to get there. So this is another reason why we often have to believe in ourselves, whether you are a Leo or not. Leaders don't generally wait for everyone to say, it's okay, you can do it. Leo's just like, yeah, I know I can do it. I know I can lead people to the promised land, so to speak. A lot just came in there. Let's get some additional cards. So it may be that you are with someone, or you yourself are feeling this in this time frame. Even if it's not an individual who's a Leo, it could just be that energy. It's very present in love. So it may be a very social time as well. You know that with the Leo energy, there is that idea of the pride, the pack, the 8th house, shared resources, how we connect with others, and how we are able to be with others while also maintaining our sense of autonomy and strength. Not being led by others, but by leading based on our own belief in self. And in love, it may be that you make decisions that, you know, the rest of your pack, so to speak, your tribe doesn't agree with, but you know what's right. Okay. All right, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse. 2 5s, a lot of change energy. We have the King of Cups as well, so it could be a water sign for some of you. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Could also be, we also have the Ace of Pentacles under the deck. Setting a new trend, something that will be a new trend for you. I think this idea of you setting the pace, you making a decision and leading by example, sets a new trend in love that is very foundational for you and has the ability to last for a long time. You're making a shift here. We have 2 5s. I'll show you the cards as I see them, Gemini. So we have the 5 of Wands. We have the 5 of Cups right in the center, and we have that King of Cups. Now I will say with the 5 of Cups and the King of Cups together, it may be for some of you that you do seek out counseling. The King of Cups is known as the counselor of the zodiac. And with the 5 of Cups, it is about integrating and understanding patterns and decisions you've made that have created a sense of loss in your life, suffering. I like that the 5 of Cups is in reverse for you, Gemini. It is right in the center of this reading, so it is about integrating. It is about understanding. You know, so many times we repeat patterns and we feel sad, then we go out and repeat them again. But with the 5 of Cups in reverse, next to that King of Cups, it may be that if it's not actually counseling that you are receiving, it may be that you are receiving good counsel, or that you are involved with someone who is very nurturing and kind to you and helps you understand your emotional patterns and the depth of your emotions, especially for an air sign. Sometimes air signs are so cerebral. The murky emotional waters can be difficult to navigate. So it may be that you have a very healing connection with someone who is a water sign, or just someone who's very, very nurturing and kind to you, which is lovely. Now with the 5 of Wands, it looks like there is this idea of the competition in love falling away. So, and with 2 5s, there's a shift. So we do have this idea of the 8th house, shared resources. We have Leo, this energy of taking charge, becoming a leader. And then we have all this change energy. So for some of you, it may be a change around your shared resources that you have with a partner or a spouse or something like that, a lot of change there, so it's either that you are shifting into it more or shifting away from it. And again, with that Five of Wands in reverse, the idea of competition no longer necessarily being an issue, which is really, really nice. And it may be because you take charge of the situation. You lead, and you don't just passively wait to see. You know, sometimes Geminis can be very aware of others' intentions and can sort of manipulate conditions kind of behind the surface or behind the scenes a little bit. But with that Leo energy, it's like you're stepping forward and being like, no, I'm just going to lead. I'm not going to, it's taking too long, or it's, you know, it's too confusing to wait for others or try to, and I say manipulate, not necessarily in a pejorative sense. But let's get some additional cards. Let me think where I want to go here. So these two fives, again, a time of instability during this period. Not everything's set in stone, but you are setting a new trend. You are wanting to shift a pattern and set something that's more stable into the future here. You have to, you know, but you're going to have to defend your position, stand your ground, and protect what you've built so far. You've been working hard, obviously, because whenever we have the impetus to bring something out into the light, such as that Leo energy, it's usually because we've been working on something, we've been working to integrate it, certainly with that Five of Cups in reverse here during this time period. And when we've integrated, that's when we tend to want to bring it out and show it and be that in the world more. And it could be, for some of you Geminis, that this King of Cups, if it's not an individual, it certainly is an energy, but it may be an energy that you are embodying more and more, getting more in touch with your emotions. You know, part of that Leo energy, even though it's very passionate energy, but it's, the fiery nature is a bit mitigated, let's say, by the water of the King of Cups. So they're actually working nicely together. You know, you have passion, fire, and drive here, but also emotional understanding. So it may be that during this time period, your emotional IQ is rather high. You're beginning to understand more and more your own, the way that your own emotions, perhaps suppressed, or emotions that you've been working through here with the Five of Cups, are tools that you can use now. You know, you're recognizing them more and more as not necessarily something that you need to push down, but something that can provide information for you so that you can be more emotionally connected in love and share your resources with another in a way that doesn't feel like an entrapment to you, but feels like a blessing to your life. Let me get some additional cards. All right, I'm going to get two cards on the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups in reverse. What is this about? With the Five of Wands, again, it talks about competition falling away. It may be that you have taken yourself out of the running, or while you work on integrating, you know, the sadness and sense of loss here, or it may be that you've just decided not to compete, or that there is not as much competition and that you are the one who comes out on top with that Leo energy. What is this sadness about? Heavy influence or heavy emphasis on emotions. The 8th house, the text on this card, intense emotions. The Five of Cups in reverse, the King of Cups. You know, he is the king of the emotional realm here. Let's find out what these two fives are about, though. What is this about for Gemini? Two fives, as I mentioned, change, but often, and instability, but often a little bit of chaotic feel to it, instability. Okay, it's about the Seven of Swords, and this is what I mentioned earlier. The likely outcome is the Emperor. Right, so we have these two fives. Again, it could, again, this can also refer to just not wanting to fight anymore, right? Kind of what I mentioned next, taking a step back while you integrate patterns around grief and loss and sorrow. But those two fives together, again, this instability, it's about secrets, things that were not being revealed, behavior that was on the down low. Not necessarily in terms of cheating or anything like that, although that could certainly be at play, either for yourself or your partner. But it feels more like, so I mentioned you're setting a new trend. We had that Ace of Pentacles under the deck. We have that 8th house shared resources under the deck. It may be that you have been leaving sort of group think behind as you strike out on your own. Again, the Leo energy, even though this isn't Leo, it's ruled by Aquarius, but it's that same sense of Leos lead in a very different way than Aquarians, but it's about seeing something that other people can't see yet in a visionary way. So you may have been holding things too close to your heart without revealing them to others. Secretive behavior for a variety of reasons. But how it affects you is the Emperor energy, which is all about creating that foundation for yourself, creating something that is stable. The Emperor is all about the infrastructure, making sure the transportational system is efficient, effective, making sure that the sewers are all working, making sure that the empire runs smoothly and that the infrastructure is sound. And so this is what you're doing here. It's very foundational. Again, that Ace of Pentacles under the deck. So this is how it's affecting you. You're taking this time for great change, again, 2 fives, in order to create something very, very stable. But you have to be the leader around this. And it may be that you are inspired by a Leo individual, or it's just that you harness this type of energy. And it may be too around these 2 fives, all this grief and loss with the 5 of Cups being integrated, that you just want to hold that close to you right now because you are making a shift away from older paradigms. As I mentioned, kind of group think. But it depends on your situation. This is a general reading, so it may be for some of you that there was actual behavior, sneaking around behavior that didn't go well, and this is either you or your partner, and this is why you have this 5 of Cups. Now I will say, even if you're single, there's a focus on shared resources, partnerships, intense emotions, and it may be that you find yourself, I'm continually single, but you're single by choice in terms of your spiritual perspective, and you are single in order to integrate and change patterns where we tend to want someone else to give us our sense of peace. This idea, if I only had a partner, then I could finally settle into life and be happy. That outside-in energy is not working for you, and this is what you're working to shift. And it may have to do with beginning to quietly seek out counseling and shift patterns around what society tends to, push onto us, that we need a partner. We need a partner in order to be our happiest selves. You're shifting, you're creating something that's very foundational, so that when you do attract in a partner, single Geminis, you feel more grounded in self. You go to yourself first for that sense of safety and peace and serenity. And then you are resonating with partners who also are going to themselves for that peace and serenity. So they're not looking to you to fill gaps, because there are no gaps. We're whole and complete as we are. But I won't go into it too much because I want to move on to the physical intimacy part of this. But so you get the message there, Gemini. So you're doing some deep, powerful work. So be gentle and kind to yourself, but let yourself certainly roar and be seen as the beautiful soul that you are. You know, you are the leader of your life, and you show others how to love you by how you love yourself. Not by spending money on yourself, but by being kind to yourself, by treating yourself kindly, by when you find yourself putting yourself down, you say, no, actually, I'm doing a really good job. You know, I'm really doing my best based on the resources I have available to me now. I'm really doing the best I can, and I'm continuing to grow and learn. And you turn it back to yourself and you affirm yourself. All right, let's get some cards on the physical intimacy, and then I'm going to close out your reading because this one's gone long. I think this King of Cups person is someone possibly in your life who's very, very kind and nurturing. Someone with whom you have a really lovely connection and who you trust. And if it's not someone in your life, it's you embodying those characteristics for yourself. It is touched by sadness there. We do have some sorrow there, but I don't think they're the cause of it necessarily. But somehow they are involved with it. And it's showing up as a king, but it doesn't have to be male. You know, who do you want to share your life with, Gemini? Who do you want to share resources with? And how can you do it in a way that, again, where you don't feel trapped, but that you feel that sense of fullness with? With whom you can build something that's long-lasting. If you're already partnered, you guys are working on this in some ways together. All right, so regarding your physical and sexual intimacy, Gemini, what are the messages for Gemini, Sun and Rising? All right, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Time card in this deck. We have the Two of Pentacles in the center, and we have the Five of Cups again in reverse. And we have the Ten of Wands in reverse under the deck. This is regarding your physical and sexual intimacy. Well, it looks like with the Wheel in reverse, if you're wanting anything to happen in your physical life, it's really more dependent on you making your own luck in that way. We have that Two of Pentacles, this idea of juggling two things. Could be that in regards to your physical and sexual intimacy, that you could be juggling more than one person, or just that you have a lot on your plate right now and it is interfering with your love life, you know, which is fine. It's, you know, it's nothing bad or good. It just kind of is. And then we have the Five of Cups in reverse again. So it looks like you are definitely working on some level with feelings of loss and sorrow. But again, I really appreciate for you, Gemini, that this is in the reverse, because it does show you're really learning these hard lessons, you know, and you're not wanting to repeat them. Again, we have that Emperor energy, wanting to create something concrete, that Ace of Pentacles that was under the deck. Again, this is in reverse. When we see it in the upright, we see that there's issues of jealousy involved, two-timing, obviously, someone else involved. And here it's represented as I think there are two male lovers and a female here upset. So, you know, again, we have that Seven of Swords, that deception card, often as deception, looked at as deception. But again, I use that term lightly because not everyone is actively deceiving for ill. But in terms of the bedroom, you're certainly working on this as it should be. You know, whenever we have things happening in our normal sort of day-to-day life in terms of how we make love, it would be natural that we would work on those same issues, you know. So just be aware of this. We also have the Ten of Wands in reverse. It may be that someone comes back in love who has been under some hardship, you know. Could also be, I'll say for some of you, that regarding physical and sexual intimacy, that you do indeed release some of those burdens through the physical act. I'm just aware of time. I have to end this reading, so I'm going to... It may be, too, that your partner is exceptionally busy during this time period, and so there's not a lot of time for lovemaking, because with the Time card in reverse, the Two of Pentacles in the middle, and the Five of Cups, it could be that, you know, again, your partner's busy, and this is what causes you sadness, the two of you sadness, and it opens the door to, you know, discussions about that. Why are you not able to make time for me? How can we work together to create more time together and spontaneity and joy in our physical connection? Effort. Again, there's kind of these three cards are all about it sort of being on you, Gemini. You know, you have to put forth the effort. Again, 1 + 3 = 4. This idea of the Emperor being, again, the Emperor is someone who's making the effort. Both 4 is very foundational, as I've already mentioned. The Leo energy putting forth, being in the spotlight. And the Time card in reverse, it's on you. You can't wait for chance. You've got to, if you want it to happen, you really have to, you know, make the effort during this time period, Gemini. So anyway, I hope you find that helpful. Remember, this reading is available on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts on my podcast. All readings are available on the podcast, so you can listen to them in the car or when you run your errands or whatever, including the weekly spiritual guidance videos that I release on Sundays. And the life purpose and prayer readings are coming up. So I wish you much love, Gemini, and I will see you perhaps at your private appointment or on another video.